Nice. I like this. We're upgrading the show a little bit. It looks like we know what we're doing. We don't, but it looks like we know what we're doing. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for clicking on this. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for being here. If you're watching this now live on Twitch, thank you for the oldest, longest running review show of Inside Star Citizen that really ever was created. That came from my own head. Which we refer to as the banana fountain. Pepe, can we hear that?
Banana fountain.
Thank you. About this, it's just so unprofessional. Okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing. This is such a great show. All right, now, since we've been running so long and this is the older show, you would imagine that we would know what to do, technically speaking. We don't. But we're still trying. And trying, really, is not doing it at all. All right, are we ready? Let's see here what's up in the arena. I'm looking forward to this.
Star Citizen's dogfight module was first discussed as far back as 2013, showcased at PAX East in 2014, and released to the world as Arena Commander in June of that same year. And since then, it's had an update here and there, but it's been a long, strange trip set under the shadow of larger endeavors like Squadron 42 and the Persistent Universe. And recently,
just a constructive criticism right now for Jared and people producing the show. The audio is a little hot. You guys, somebody went a little cray on the board and pushed the mix up. Just the decibels were a little hot. Try to adjust professionally. Just trying to adjust.
Recently, the new Arena Commander feature team was formed. A small but dedicated force of names and faces you might recognize, determined to give the oft-forgotten dogfight module some much-needed TLC, and a new roadmap of features that continues later this year and continues beyond.
The Arena Commander feature team is actually the team that is in charge of, well, Arena Commander. Initially,
I just get tilted when I see Sean. Like these days, I'm just getting tilted when I see Sean. I just do.
The Arena Commander was actually owned within sort of the vehicle pillar of the company, and we hadn't had yet a team dedicated to it. This was actually the first game that we had rolled out, the first module, and we had called it the Dogfight module. And from there on out, it has now become Arena Commander. So very important for sort of the hardcore player base that is really into especially PvP sort of scenarios. That is really the main place and the main reason why Arena Commander continues to exist, and why it's really important for the company. Now, during the pandemic, we stopped working with Firesprite, so that, of course, had to change plans a little bit. There was those among Firesprite that still wanted to continue to work with Arena Commander, and they had come over to work for us at CIG, and those include, Duncan Bunting. Woo! Now, this was important that we were able to put together a plan that would leverage all the art, all the access to content that we've got from Star Citizen, but be able to apply it within Arena Commander without having to remake everything. Also being able to leverage already game modes that exist to improve them in a much better quality of life way, and to be able to set us up to be able to scale Arena Commander into new content. And most importantly is, as we come to Death of a Spaceman, there's going to be things that you want to be able to test out without having to risk your life.
Like here's the thing about Sean. He's a pitch man, and the thing is, it comes off super salesman-y. Every time I see him, I just get tilted. I just start to get tilted because I feel like it's not coming from a genuine place. And I'm not trying to slight the man. I'm not trying to personally attack him. I'm just saying sometimes these types of demeanors, they come from people, and you can smell it. There's no lie. All of you know what I'm talking about. Only some of you will say it. In fact, probably nobody but me. But I have the balls to say something like this because it's how I'm feeling, and I'm sure a lot of other people, right, exactly, body language, right fingers, absolutely. And it doesn't feel genuine. And he's overselling it. And right out of the gate, what happens is you just get a bad taste in your mouth, and you just start to get angry. You just start to get angry. If you're a longtime backer, if you're somebody new to this, it doesn't even matter how long you've been with the project. It could be over 10 years. It could be 10 hours. And then you see this, and what you start to feel is that over salesman-y shit that we watch when we're watching Star Atlas. Now, I like Star Atlas. I like Web3 gaming. I want to see where that goes. A lot of people disagree with me. I don't know. Call me crazy. I just like these journeys. I like to go through these journeys and see what happens, for good or for bad. When I hit something like this and I see Sean start to do this, I feel like I get that kind of over-the-top salesman thing that I'm getting out of Star Atlas, right? So, you know, I know I got I know I got some Star Atlas people here, and I'm gonna give a +1 to the Star Atlas side because I'm saying to myself, you know, it's happening over here in Star Citizen 2. This is not just like a Star Atlas versus Star Citizen thing versus No Man's Sky thing versus Starfield thing versus Elite Dangerous thing versus God only knows what else you want to verse it against. It's not even about the verses. It's about people, authenticity. It's about how things are coming across in a project, regardless of the project, regardless of what the project is. It's about how people are trying to communicate to you what it is, the point. Is it passionate? Is it from the heart? Or are we just like, boom, 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 selling you a new car with all the gadgets? You know what I mean?
So we can't just maintain the mode. We want to improve it and to re-excite people about it. So basically, me and Duncan, we came together and came up with a plan for this year and for next to be able to do that. And we broke that into a couple stages. And one of those stages we want to talk about today as it's imminent.
Good to see you, Luigi.
So Arena Commander, through the years, kind of hasn't had much love as, like, say, the PU Persistent Universe. You know, in the beginning, it was all hands on deck, get that multiplayer, get that system flowing. And then a lot of the resources kind of moved off of that, including myself. I went straight to working on vehicles for the Persistent Universe. So Arena Commander was kind of always that background game where you can play a certain thing, but it was kind of stale in the sense that nothing new has come. Is what you have now is kind of what we had when I originally played. In fact, when I originally worked on Arena Commander, a lot of those same systems, when I went back to it now, are still there. So it's a lot of the old stuff, which works great, but it's not up to our today's standards.
Right.
So as flight modes have changed, we haven't updated the race mode.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. They want to, like, here's the thing. My only question is going back and you know, giving these things a facelift. Yeah, it's part of the maintenance of it. I'll hear people, they get really upset about it, but honestly, you know, these are parts of the game that have been there since, like, old school veteran backers like myself have been there. And, you know, there's some nostalgia about it, but damn if it's not like hopping in like you were hopping in 2016 and prior to it. You know what I mean? Like, so they're giving it a little facelift, you know, they're trying to update it. I don't know how much, you know, how many resources is that taken? What's the amount of resources that's going to be taken away from actually developing, you know, what's most important to us, which is the public universe, the persistent universe, and Squadron 42, right? Like, by doing this, is it taking that much away substantially from the progress that I want to see? I'm not sure. I don't have the answers to that. Some people get upset. That's what they're going to say. I'm going to be rational. I'm going to say I'm not quite sure how much manpower is being put into this. I'm not quite sure how much is taken away from other things that I would like to see the progress in.
As combat modes have changed, we haven't really updated the swarm modes. As PvP has changed based on features, we need to keep up with that within Arena Commander. And that's a big reason why I think people don't play it, is that it has become somewhat disconnected from what Star Citizen and the Persistent Universe is. And it's imperative that as a simulation to that it is closer and more accurate to what's going on there.
Kubert, how long have you been with this channel? The answer to your question is no, and you know that. Ow, that was a loud rim shot. My eardrums. I know Cooper heard that.
and thus means it has to keep up.
So we've always had these big ticket items, things to aim for, big flagship game modes and such. So with the small team that we've got, our focus and this presentation that we put together.
Listen, this is why you're coming here. This is why you're watching the channel. The other people that leave, we don't want them here anyway, right? I mean, let's be real. We want the people that understand what the situation is. We're only 3 minutes and 59 some odd seconds of this video, but I've been talking for 20. And you know what? That's called content. That's called content. And entertainment. There's some entertainment thrown in there. And some
When the
learning.
team was first formed was a revival of Arena
And some
Commander,
apple juice.
a 3-step process. And the first step that we're experiencing early this year is laying the foundation, where we're replacing a lot of the old, kind of worn, very old code, old data
Kind of
with
worn.
new updated stuff, so that we can apply new features, new quality of life things, and really bring Arena Commander up to what the quality that you'd expect from Star Citizen.
That's right, Explodo.
So where do you
That's
start
right, bro.
when you want to plan something like this and break up those stages? Well, you start at the start. You start at first impressions. So nobody wants to build what I like to call a castle in the sky. You've got to start by laying foundations and the very first impression of what people are experiencing within that game. So with that comes the front end.
The front end connects everything. It's our lobby system, it's how we get into matches, it's how we connect with friends, it's how we even make our private matches, which we'll have later this year.
One of the most important things that we're going to be able to do is remove all of the flash out of the front end. Now, this is a very, very legacy piece of technology that we had.
All right. I'm starting to be impressed and I'm starting to like it. And then Sean goes, this is going to be very, very, like the over-exaggerated shit. Just, Sean, let me be happy about what I'm hearing without just overselling the shit out of this and ruining my vibe, Sean. God damn it.
Relied on for many years. But over the course of the years, and as the community might be aware, we've already changed over to an internal system called building blocks. What we'd like to do is bring our entire front end up to building blocks. We've brought portions of it, but not Arena Commander at all.
First iteration is going to be a focus on
I love you guys.
functionality,
Thank you, everybody, for
and
being here tonight.
we'll
I'm having a
just be
blast with
iterating
all of you.
patch to patch to add
He
more
probably
things
does,
that
Fingers.
players have been asking
Probably.
for a number of years.
Yeah, so we're changing all this front end to make it very easy to
What's up,
configure
man?
and get
How you
into your
doing,
matches
buddy?
quickly.
The next step is
Good to
I
see
want
you,
to
Red.
combine Star Marine and Arena Commander into one menu item, which is Arena Commander. Now, nothing's really changed. We've only just given you one button to go into an interface that you still have all the same access that you would have. So you don't have to go into a specific Star Marine sort of front end that would only get you to the given maps, or then a specific Arena Commander front end. You go into the Arena Commander front end,
I
and
hear
you have
you,
access to
Ostentatious.
Star
I hear you,
Marine
bro.
game modes. You have access to Star Marine maps. You have access to Arena Commander game modes, Arena Commander maps, and you have access to all the race modes and race maps.
Now, we're not taking away the Star Marine brand. That's still going to be the maker of these FPS games. But what you'll find now with this new front end is it's all under the Arena Commander simulation module.
So this is really important for us for that first impression, so that one, people know the sheer amount of content and stuff that's actually there. But second, we're also able to update it as time goes on, much, much easier.
For the past number of years, we've been slowly refactoring some of those old systems to bring them up to date so that we can add new features easily. One example would be the spawning module, which Mark Aben is currently working on.
There's huge potential in Arena Commander. We just have to fix what's there. Potential as in being, Arena Commander's a fast-paced, action-based. We get you into the game quick and easy. And if we
That's
fix
how it
some of the
always should have
issues
been.
like
Right.
when, loadout customization is a
Right.
huge one.
Ship loadouts, selecting a ship's rentals,
Yeah.
etc., are a little bit cumbersome, and it's not.
Little bit cumbersome, he says. A little bit. Just a little bit cumbersome. Yeah, like a lot. And you know what? The good thing is they're starting to focus on those things. Quality of life, making things easier, bing, bang, boom. That's the shit we all want as gamers. Let's not lie to ourselves. That's all we want. We just want bing, bang, boom. Get this shit the way that I want it. But also, you got to give it that reality. You got to give it that realism. We also got to slow it down a little bit and enjoy ourselves. But we're not talking about the persistent universe. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Arena Commander. Bing, bang, boom. Arena Commander.
Very easy to do things like find other players for
Very
the
easy.
game modes that you
Yeah,
want.
because fitting a ship was absolutely ridiculous. I never had such a more difficult time in my life. The whole goddamn time I'm trying to put like new setups on these ships, it's like, forget about it. Forget about it. You know what I mean? Like, I need a bing bang boom. You know what I'm saying? I need a bing bang boom.
On
Hey, it's
the
Bobby
servers
Boom
that
Box.
are
I need a bing bang
going to be
boom.
the best experience for you. So what we are planning to do is to make that experience a lot more user-friendly,
What's up,
so that you
Stunner?
can instantly
Good to see ya.
select your ship, select your players, select the game modes that you want to,
Good.
and then find a worthwhile adversary
Yeah, that's
in
true.
game
That's
modes
true,
that are
Explodo.
head-to-head, or find other teammates that will help you achieve your goals in
Dude, that's
the
a
cooperative
professional
game
soul
modes.
patch, Luigi.
I want people to be able to get together to play
I
this
bow
game
down to that.
in a very, very easy way. So that whether that is things like friends and lobby support, whether that's things like private matches, which is an imperative thing, we've got to get over the building blocks so we can implement private matches back for you guys, which you've asked for quite some time here.
Since we're also revamping a lot of our core systems, one of the things we want to change was this thing called a band.
Hold on. I am glad there is somebody else out there with that problem. Let me tell you something. Woof. Don't even get me started. I'll talk about that on the morning show a little bit.
A
Don't even
long
get
time
me
ago,
started.
we have this kind of list of things that say you can't use this in Arena
Thank
Commander,
you,
or you
God.
can't use
There's
this ship
somebody
in
else
Arena
out there.
Commander. One of the biggest things we changed
Oh, I'm
is
so
make
happy to
it
be
very
here.
tagged-based
Thank you,
in a
guys.
way that
Thank you.
design can go,
So happy.
if I want to use
I know
this
she's
ship and
watching.
this ship
She
and
yells
this
at me all
mode,
the
I just
time,
have to
dude.
tag these
Luigi.
things and band its use for that mode. So we want to give tools to design to say you could use
She
this,
loves
you
it.
can use
She
this,
loves it.
and we
She
can
wouldn't be
add
with me this long.
an
She
item
did it.
or a weapon in a few seconds rather than
She
a few
glutton
minutes.
for punishment.
What we don't want people is guessing or having to really dig around to figure out what it is they want to be able to do.
Right.
We want to guide them through that.
Yeah.
So it's really important that we do make those front-end updates so that our first impression and our foundations are sound within this
I mean,
game.
because of course Sean has to talk about something other than Theaters of War, so he's gonna go to Arena Commander. You know what I mean. Also, yeah, can we just pretend that Arena Commander's called Theaters of War? Sure, Sean. Sure, sure.
One of our maps within Arena Commander is Dying Star. So, building better battles, as Jared likes to put it. How are we going about that? Well, there was a couple updates. We had already made it quite a large visual update.
Right.
Even
Isn't
during
this
the
what's
pandemic.
happening?
And
I mean, like, really, at the end of the day, isn't this what's happening? They're just trying to recover the fumble. You know what I mean? They're trying to recover the fumble like they never fumbled. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's kind of what I'm seeing.
partnered with sort of the legacy team.
But they are still
but now
making
with
the Arena
internal team,
Commander
we wanted to take some further steps.
big
So
bang,
last year,
boom.
Dying Star
So there is that.
underwent an artistic
Both
update.
sides. Both sides.
And it was quite visually stunning, very pretty. A lot of artists worked very hard on that.
This is beautiful. I love what I'm
Unfortunately,
seeing
the things
here.
that made it very
We're updating it. We're
visually
giving it some eye
interesting
candiness.
made for not so great gameplay, especially in the arena of like combat. One of the
Okay, this is cool. This is cool. I'm going to give this some applause. This is cool. It needed the work. This is cool. We're gonna pretend like this isn't. We're gonna pretend like this is actually Theaters of War. We're gonna do. I should put Theaters of War on the thumbnail.
major issues that we got from our community is that it was just too bright. And so you couldn't see where you were going or where other players were.
Gameplay-wise, we kind of missed the mark. There was a lot of heavy fog, things that made players actually motion sick. So we got a lot of feedback from the community, and we addressed those things straight away as soon as we came on board with the Arena Commander feature team.
Some of the things that we did to fix it were to reduce the opacity and the density of the really bright
going
yellow
on,
gas
Good to
cloud
see you here.
that is predominant in the
Good to
level.
see you,
That greatly helped to reduce the overall brightness of the level.
He went into the map, he reduced the density of the
Beautiful. I
fog,
mean, it's
size
beautiful.
of the particles, and the way that the light affects the player's visor.
There were some performance issues with the level itself, and
Wait. There were some performance issues. I just can't believe that. Hold on a second. There were performance issues?
that was a result of some of the actual space station assets being used to generate the space station that was in Dying Star. And so our engineers discovered that there was actually AI within the closed-off hangar. Since they had no place to go, it caused a little bit of havoc in those levels.
How did you feel the first time you heard about the AI?
That's hilarious.
When I heard the AI, I was like, well,
That's really
that explains
funny.
it.
I like it. That's funny.
While completely
That's
invisible to the
funny.
player, it really tanked our FPS.
So while these first Dying Star improvements that you're seeing are mainly performance related and visuals as well, we'll be coming
When
in
in
right
doubt,
behind that
blame
with some
the AI.
exciting gameplay improvements that you guys should stay tuned for. Oh, geez, that's maybe too much. Was that too much? So I talked about two sort of core gameplay elements. I talked about sort of the flight and fight, and then I talked about FPS. But what I haven't really addressed is racing, which is flight, period.
Racing is a dangerous sport, especially when you've got 6 degrees of freedom, you're flying around a hunk of a ship, you're probably going to die. So to perfect your skills, you need to do it in Arena Commander.
Our race mode in Arena Commander is one of those modules that were kind of built in the early days when I started working here. And a lot of the core infrastructure is roughly the same of what we had originally.
So the New Horizon maps, they've been in since the implementation of racing, and they've been pretty much untouched. There's been some bug fixes, some quality of life improvements.
We hadn't updated those race maps in a long time. A great example was, you know, the current race map that was in place, it looked like it was an atmosphere, but the way it actually flew was as if we were completely
Dudes. Like, you know what I can't wait for? Hold on, let me go back here just a touch. Like, I can't wait for owning one of those, you know? I can't wait to be flying on whatever planet or moon I decide on and just like own one of these habs. Go in there. Maybe it's part of a race, right? Just look out the window. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
It was as if we were completely zero G.
So what we've done now is we've got the real planet, Green 3 of the Ellis system, which is an Earth-like, beautiful, holiday-like planet.
They do have a dual
where the races will
universe
now
vibe
take place
to them,
in
for
atmosphere
real.
where they should
really
be.
do.
So any of the benefits we get from the racetrack being on a real planet,
I like
such
the
as gravity
updates,
and
man.
atmosphere,
I like what
actually
they did
affect
to it. It looks,
the race now.
good. It's looking good.
Can you fly down?
What planet was that? Is that actually
You can
on?
fly down
It's
to the
part of
planet if
the
you
lore.
want. You're
I
not going to
forget.
complete the race. So our
It's
Arena
not
Commander
Terra,
team
is
is
it?
very small. We actually
wanna
don't
say
have
Terra.
artists, but one place that we have countless number of
Oh, that'd be
locations,
great, Red. I
incredibly
dig that.
beautiful locations,
Right.
is the
Walk
PU.
in,
It
plug
just
the
makes
syndicate in the
sense.
house.
Take those locations from the PU
Terra,
and put them
Terra
in
2,
Arena
thank you,
Commander.
Limitless.
Some might think that
Thank
might be
you.
a difficult task. It's actually not. The designers
Oh, Ellis.
have worked
Ellis
out a
3.
perfect
Fair
workflow
systems.
along with Mark, making some adjustments to how
Okay,
we spawn
okay.
object containers,
I'll have to
and
look
we're
that
able
up
to
on the
take
Arc
PU
map.
locations into Arena Commander pretty fast.
Right now I'm working on is taking racetrack from the PU and transferring them into the Arena Commander. So what I do is basically with the PU getting racetrack, I would take those racetracks and with the new race refactor that we have, I can transfer them into the Arena Commander.
Why can't we get these racing beacons in the game that are assets that we can make and adjust sizes so that we know where to go when we're racing? Like this idea we got from Astro Chronicles, one of our members from our community. I think he's got 10,000 subscribers now. Congratulations to you, buddy. It's nice to see DG Army helped you out. I love that. I love when our friends get like these awesome DG360 boosts. It's really nice to see that amount of subscribers for Astro. I think when we found him, he had like 3,000 or 4,000. So it's really nice to see him grow his subscribership. But he had a great idea, racing beacons. I've been saying it till I'm blue in the face. It is such an awesome idea. And all they have to do is put in an asset in the game that can adjust size and color it's basically a racing beacon, and you set them down. You can put them wherever you want, and I think Atmo Esports and XGR would love that. I think they would love that. Let's get that going.
Whatever you see in PU is what you see in AC. So whenever we make improvements to things like the actual track that you see in PU, we get the benefits of those improvements. The big benefit is, though, that since they are equal, you get to practice in AC the skills
You got the
that it takes
exclusive
to become
DG Raid
a
Stash
quick
mode
racer
emoticon.
and really excel at those tracks without the consequences of like permanent death.
You got a
So
new
we can do that for
emoticon,
racing,
man.
we can do
No,
that
no,
for
no.
FPS
Check it
combat,
out.
we
You
can do
should have
that
a
for
new emoticon.
dogfighting locations like Jericho Station, which will also be coming with this patch.
Now, there was some inspiration that was brought definitely from the community, and myself and Duncan had seen a lot of the messaging that was out there. There was a super active community within racing, and they were basically setting up all the new structure for themselves, and it always seemed to be like a very obvious.
This is I'm not putting this down because I think it's a great cooperation between developer and gamer. I think what XGR and Cloud Imperium have done together and designed these tracks are absolutely phenomenal. So first, before I'm going to go down this road, let me just say that is awesome. Okay. But I do want to say this. If those racing beacons are implemented that Astro Chronicles has thought out in his beautiful melon of his, then anybody can lay out a track anywhere in Stanton currently, and it would be fantastic. They could make their own tracks with persistence because they would stay there for as long as the race was, to go to the server shard that you need to go into, and those beacons will stay in perpetuity. We already saw tests being done. We already know that the persistence is pretty well locked in on the server shards. So I think it's time for these racing beacons. People can set up their own tracks now, and see, here's the thing that's the beautiful thing about that, and this is why I'm spending so much time talking about it. What happens is the player base does the work, and the developers can focus on other things like, hey, Squadron 42. Hey, maybe let's work more on the persistent universe. Hold on. Hey, maybe you can actually take some time out to learn how to manage your people correctly. Sorry. I may be available if you want some help, Cloud Imperium. I'm just saying that's kind of what I do. Okay? Get people's shit in order so that we get maximum effectiveness out of this. Hold on. Thank you. What, Pepper? I know. Thank you. I am great. I thank you for feeding my narcissism. Thank you.
Thing that we could do to support this was to be able to bring PU level type content and tracks into Arena Commander to fulfill that content. And since the time that we had made racing so many years ago, we've since gotten planets, we've since gotten atmospheric flight, we've gotten a bunch of different flight modes. So
Woodford.
racing needs to keep up with basically the rest of the game to make it relevant to everything that's going on within the persistent universe.
Right.
We need to bring
now, but we saw some tests, Cube. I don't know if you were with us that day. We were watching the tests on persistence. Were you there for that, buddy? I don't know if you saw it, Cube. I haven't put it as a highlight on the channel, so I won't blame you, bro. But it was awesome. This guy spawned, I don't know, what was it, 35 Pisces, threw out a whole bunch of, you were there, Cube, right? So, I mean, I'm going off of what it is that I'm seeing, physically being developed, and I'm seeing what's happening, and I'm saying that I feel like there is a more stable level of persistence now, as there was compared to what we had. And I think that, racing beacons right now, totally doable. And I think you would agree with me, right, Coobs? I mean, if you don't, tell me why you don't.
Persistent universe locations, especially great racetracks that the community has come up with, that we have come up with, into Arena Commander itself, so that we can deliver that to you in a more concise 30-minute session that you could do that practice with, but it be completely relevant to the larger existence of the persistent universe. So we take those locations into Arena Commander so that those are much more accurate and much more relevant to what you're doing.
Relevant. Good word.
Overall, I'm so happy with the progress the Arena Commander team has made. We went from the very small team with...
No. Okay, yeah, I know. The tech is... Right, I know. I don't think the tech is there yet, but I'm saying that I think that it's at a stage where considering putting an asset in the game that's a marker to help people so that they can set up their own tracks is not out of the realm of I don't think that's an absurd idea, is what I'm saying. I think that's actually like a pretty good idea for now for people that want to race. Okay. All right, Coobs. I like having these conversations with you, Cube. This is what I do. Like, this is very unusual for any streamer to do, have like conversations with people. You know, this is what I like to do here on DG360. Can we applaud myself on that? I like to communicate with people back and forth. I like it. I actually pay attention to what's being written here, especially when they say great things about me, especially then.
A lot of passion, and we've got a pretty solid plan here on how we can revitalize Arena Commander throughout this year. We're going to be committed to improving Arena Commander throughout the year, throughout the next year. We're targeting 12 new racetracks, including the 3 you're familiar with from the New Horizons Speedway.
You are too.
We are adding a new dogfighting map, Jericho Station.
Okay, wait, hold on. Is there an emoticon emergency in this room right now? Hold on. There is an emoticon. Pepe, there's an emoticon emergency right now in this room. I have to figure it out. We have a technical difficulty. There's an emoticon emergency.
Incoming salad vibes.
I'm trying to watch the show here, but it seems like my unlocked emoticons have not gotten delivered to the people that have put those channel points forward. It is a problem. It is a problem. I don't know why you guys didn't receive this. Probably because everybody's against me. These platforms are against me. It's still locked for me. It says I need to spend 2,000 more bits, even though you did spend 50,000 points. Oh my God, you spent 50,000 TV points. You see that little TV? You see that? The irony is those points down there that you're spending have a little emoji that has a broken TV on it with static, with X's on its eyes. Those are my channel points. The beauty, the irony that it actually doesn't work only reflects the reason why that emoticon was made in the first place. Do you understand the full circle that just happened right there, Pepe? This happened. This was way before you even joined the outfit. Oh, man. DY knows what I'm talking about. He's old school.
We are targeting a lot of quality of life improvements.
Pepe, you're supposed to help me with that stuff.
Some vital systems that you might not see changes on the surface, but they are vital behind the scenes for us to make more changes throughout this year.
So now you've seen what the Arena Commander feature team is up to, and we thought it was important that we came to the community and talked about our plans a little bit. Now, I've learned my lesson. I'm not about to give, 4 out there dates or too much expectation in place, but we did want you to know what the plans are,
for the course
and that we are actively working on it right now. So you can expect that, you'll see some great updates. And one really important thing that we've actually put in place as well is that we've discussed with our release planners. We've now got a separate patch notes for Arena Commander. So Arena Commander is going to be reported just a little bit alongside Star Citizen, but not embedded within the patch notes, so that it's a little bit easier for you guys to see exactly what's happened with the Arena Commander patch to patch. Because though we've talked about some specifics in this, there's lots of little things that aren't worth necessarily talking about on video. But
what happened to his speed? Did he just literally speed up? Like, I feel like he sped up like light speed. Did he just do a line in the bathroom at Cloud Imperium? Like, this is how I feel like I just watched that. Hold on a second. Like, something's going on here. This is how I feel like I just watched this, for God's sake. What is going on here, for God's sake?
That it's a little bit easier for you guys to see exactly what's happening with the Arena Commander patch to patch. Because though we've talked about some specifics in this, there's lots of little things that, aren't worth necessarily talking about on video, but bugs that are fixed that, hey, maybe bothered people for years that have been addressed since then. So we're really happy to be able to talk to you guys about what's going on with the Arena Commander feature team, and look forward to the rest of the year.
So what have we learned?
Wow. Like, what just happened? What just happened to him? Like, I can't believe my eyes or my ears right there. But I feel like, am I the only one that like detected like something a little bit awry there? Were they trying to squeeze? They feel like they were trying to squeeze this in. Listen, did you guys feel like he sped up a little bit on that? Hold on, let's watch that again here. Let's just watch it in regular. Let's just watch it in regular time here. I'm going back to regular time. I feel like he's talking a bit faster now.
And I'm not about to give, 4 out there dates or too much expectation in place, but we did want you to know what the plans are, and that we are actively working on it right now. So you can expect that, you'll see some great updates. And one really important thing that we've actually put in place as well is that we've discussed with our release planners. We've now got a separate patch notes for Arena Commander. So Arena Commander is going to be reported just a little bit alongside Star Citizen, but not embedded within the patch notes, so that it's a little bit easier for you guys to see exactly what's happened with the Arena Commander patch to patch. Because though we've talked about some specifics in this, there's lots of little things that, aren't worth necessarily talking about on video, but bugs that are fixed that, hey, maybe bothered people for years that have been addressed since then. So we're really happy to be able to talk to you guys about...
Hold on a moment. Just hold on a moment. This is the type of analysis that you don't get on other Star Citizen channels. Let me just tell you something. The reason why you're here is this type of analysis. Let me tell you something. In the real world, I've been known to sell a few things. I'm going to go Sean Tracy mode here. And let me just tell you, I've been able to, figure out a way in which I can talk to somebody and they're kind of like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy's still talking to me. I'm just going to buy whatever he's saying to buy because I can't hear me talk anymore. It's like crazy. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say.
What's going on with Arena Commander feature team, and look forward to the rest of the year.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Arena Commander is finally getting the front and back end fixes needed to add more ships and return things like private custom matches. That the existing racing modules are finally getting remade with the same atmospheric physics.
Sean might have done a line in the bathroom. I think that's what we really learned.
The PU. And that each one of the new PU racetracks will make their way into Arena Commander when the first new drop is released later this year. Now, don't forget that the Lunar New Year festivities are coming to an end, so don't miss out on your last chance to participate if you haven't already. And check out last week's Star Citizen Live for even more information about the upcoming Alpha.
Chris, it's time for a drug test, I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Cloud Imperium. I hate to be that guy. In fact, I'll take that back. Don't. In fact, I think you get a lot more done the way things are happening, actually. I think things are going along just fine right now. Keep it going. Keep up that pace. I would like to, let's finish this off, and then we're going to get to the after party mode, and we're going to have fun of our own. And we're going to talk really fast during our after party. It's going to be like 2 minutes long, but it'll be the best 2 minutes that you ever had. That's what I tell Christy all the time. It's just hard for her to believe it.
318, and then keep your eyes on the RSI website and socials for info on its forthcoming release. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all here next week.
Yes, we will, Jared. Listen, I love the production of the show. I like what they're doing here. They definitely needed to upgrade Arena Commander. They definitely needed to upgrade the racing, the track. I think that's cool. They should do it. They felt disassociated. They felt disconnected, just like they were talking about. I think it's kind of a cop-out that Sean's substituting Arena Commander now for Theaters of War, Fumble, the Fumble Ruski. We learned a lot here. You see what I'm saying? When you watch the Inside Star Citizen review, you're watching a show and you're not only taking the game development that's happening right before your eyes, but you're also looking at the people that are in this business, the real people, the real life business, and we can kind of dissect what it is that's happening. And that is really, I think, what makes us different. And if you like that, you're going to push the like button on YouTube. You're going to consider pushing the join button to support our channel, to help us get those crazy freedom units I call, dollar bills or whatever currency or fiat you like, or crypto. We accept that as well. You can pretty much give us anything. Bread. I'm hungry. All right, let's get to the after party, everybody. I can't wait to have some fun with the people that are here live. Can I get some applause for that? Bye, YouTubes. We're sorry you couldn't make it and have some fun with us, but we will eventually ship these highlights over to you way after the fact. I mean, you're going to miss out so bad. All right, let's have some fun. Sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry. I know you're mad at me, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's just the way it crumbles.